And some people talk about future-proof technology. It's generally laughed at by most everybody, and there's a reason for that. Because, like computers, I mean, you could buy the most expensive, fastest computer, and like 6 months later, it's like an obsolete turd muffin. No one will want to buy from you, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Same thing with like iPads. It's like, I got the latest, greatest iPads. Like, well, when did you buy it? Like 3 months ago? Oh yeah, that thing's obsolete. There are such things as future-proof cameras. And future-proof is, of course, in regards to two aspects. Of course, there's no such thing really as durable electronics. There are some cameras that are obviously built tougher. Let me name you, for example, some future-proof Nikon cameras. Nikon D4, Nikon D4S, Nikon D3. As much as I don't like the Nikon D5, I mean, it's basically future-proof. I mean, just 10 years from now, and of course it's been many years since the Nikon D4 came out, still gets bitted on hot and heavy because it's a true working professional's tool. Currently, a lot of people are asking me, I mean a lot, I got a lot of emails recently because there's still a 1-week sale going on, or a few next few days in the GFX 50R. You know, that has an old sensor in it. Well, that's the same old sensors found in the Hasselblads, found in the Pentax Z. By future-proof on medium format, and I've stated this in other videos, medium format is extremely future-proof. Even if it's a horrible medium format camera that I don't like, Hasselblad. And that camera's buggy and it has several empirically, undesirable attributes like slow startup and not so good autofocus. The GFX 50R, which by the way is still my favorite camera of all time that I've ever owned. I waited 10 years for a simple, a brick of a medium format camera. Right now, I've seen used ones of those for $2,800. It's currently on sale for $3,500. That's insanely cheap. That camera, everybody keeps saying, well, I want to buy this medium format GFX 50R, and I'm right on the fence, but maybe a year or so from now, Fujifilm's going to come out with an updated GFX 50R Mark II or something like that. In 2 years or so, they might very well. But I can assure you of one thing, undeniably so, because that sensor has been around now for quite a long time. There is no chance in hell that 10 years down the road, if you pop out, a brilliant 600 megabyte TIFF file from your GFX 50R, anybody's going to be less than unhappy. It hasn't changed in the past 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years. Ultimately, print size, unless we're talking about large museum quality prints where people get right up on it and they get really close and people print really large and they need the details there. Yeah, because viewing distance is so close, kind of like this 5K iMac display. Looks nice and buttery. You don't see pixelation when you get up close. There's not a chance in hell anybody that gets a GFX 50R with that old sensor in it is going to be anything less than unhappy many, many years down the road. Assuming, of course, you took care of it, you didn't drop it in the bathtub and, other stupid things, which, of course, are not good for any type of electronics. There's just not a chance of it. Medium format always has been, even in the days of film. Film medium format was future-proof, and it still kind of is. Back in photography school, my last year of photography school was 1991. How the hell long ago was that? That was 30 years ago. Essentially 30 years ago. Those medium format cameras are still being used by people. You know why? Because they're future-proof. You want a perfect example of friggin' future-proof and how future-proof medium format is? 30 years from, ago, still using it. People are happy with those film cameras. I hate processing film. Anybody that still likes shooting film is someone that has not shot enough film. Let me repeat that. If you still like shooting film, then you haven't shot enough film, because it's just a pain in the ass. I'd still shoot large format 8x10 if the negatives weren't so frigging expensive. But medium format is future-proof. That is a stupid statement to generically make about any and all electronics because they're obsoleted very quickly afterwards, including crop sensor cameras and including full-frame sensor cameras, okay? Because nobody, you know, the film 35 millimeter stuff, I mean, all that stuff, other than a few models like the Nikon F4S, which I used, I had a pair of, or Nikon F5, Nikon's last 35 millimeter film camera. You know, other than that, 35 millimeter film, boom, it's dead. Why would you shoot it? Because you can get a medium format film camera for like dirt cheap. A 6.7 Pentax, which is what I had two of, and like a dozen lenses. Get them cheap. Awesome. You know, still awesome quality. Still very awesome quality. So when I say, when you buy a GFX 50R, or you know, even a 50S for that matter, however the 50R is the one that's on killer sale, medium format is future proof. That's not my a feeling or opinion, or you know, my attitude on photography. It's a fact. So the GFX 50R at $3,500 is a steal. I wished I paid that much for mine. I paid full retail for it like everybody else. Still my favorite camera of all time. Why is that my favorite camera with the GFX 100? Because I'm not really, even though I have insurance on both of them for drops, loss, thefts, you know, stuff like that, it's a simple camera. I'm not worried about babying, you know? Like this is not my XT4. You know, I have had it everywhere, but it's not mine, and it's a pre-production camera. It doesn't belong to me, so I baby it. You know, I take care of it. That's kind of how I treat my GFX 100, yeah? You know, I'm not that bad with it like some people. They're just like, you know, oh, you know, you know the types I'm talking about. That's the way I love the 50R. I mean, I have no hesitation to, you know, clunk around with it. It was a dream of mine many, many years ago, and it has been for all time until now, because I have it, is to have like a medium format digital camera which has incredible frigging output, and I just have no problem dragging that sucker anywhere and everywhere I go. That is not a big camera. The GFX 50R is not a big camera. It's just not. And the image output is awesome. And that's not going anywhere next year or the year after that or the year after that. So there is it. Yes, medium format digital is a future proof. And you can't contest me on that because it's a fact. It's a fact. Thanks for watching.